What's up, guys? It is the sports nerd Bradley Walker, and welcome to the Walker Report. Happy Thursday, guys. Welcome in. I've had one of those interesting days, kind of have some car issues I got to take care of. Nothing major, just minor stuff I got to take care of. But happy Thursday, guys. Welcome into the Walker Report. We are part of NGSC Sports, guys. Remember the website. It's ngscsports.com for all your current sports content. Yours truly submitted 2 articles today, one about the team on my hat, Tampa Bay Rays, and one about the USF Bulls schedule change coming up in next year and beyond. We are part of some new networks, guys. The Snowman Multimedia Sports. We are also part of Game Winner Sports Network and Mancini Media. So go over there, guys. Support them for what you need. We have a YouTube channel, guys. I finally got to 50 subscribers, so hell, let's get to 60 or 100. Head over to the Walker Report YouTube channel and get us going over there as well. All right, guys, let me bring in my 3 extreme co-hosts. Good evening, gentlemen.
What's going on there, nerd?
What's going on, man? Gerald, I tried to get on your show, man, and the link wouldn't work.
I had to reset the link, and I thought I sent it to you. But
Yeah,
that's my apologies. I'm sorry.
No worries, man. I was on the computer at like 7:45. I'm like, I'm going to get on and talk for 15 minutes. It's okay. I'll get you next week. I'll get on there.
Like I said, I'm sitting here. I had everything set up, and all of a sudden the laptop says, "Screw you." Like,
right.
no!
Hey, at least your laptop didn't try to start World War III.
Yeah.
Hey, if I had any hair up here, I would have pulled it out a while ago.
That's what don't look behind him because he ripped out all of his back hair.
And
Well,
as you can see, Brad, I got the green screen up.
Yeah, I can see the brick behind you. Cool. That's cool, man. That's
No,
awesome.
it's good.
I
You gotta
just
get out of the
haven't
jail,
figured
though.
out I just haven't figured out how to add any custom to it, like yours. How it says the Walker Report behind you.
Let me, you know what, Jared? I'll show you right after the show. I don't have to be up early tomorrow, as early as I was last week, so I can show you after the show. No problem.
Okay. So I'll
I have
figure,
to-
I
I have
figure,
to
hell,
replace-
let's go ahead and use the brick wall for now.
I have to
If it
replace the
looks
O2
like
sensors in my.
Only thing it needs
all right.
now
Fine.
is a spike in there with a chain and a collar around my neck.
Yeah, I got to replace one or both of my O2 sensors in my car.
And I'll be right back.
And now your wife, and now we don't have to worry about seeing your wife's feet. We'll never have a problem with that again.
How do you get out of that prison cell?
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
I cracked myself up.
Real quick, guys, we have 2 sponsors, CreatingZenSpaces.com. It is the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you, adding comfort to your life. Remember, guys, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. We are also sponsored by Garrett's. Garrett's designer jewelry and luxury accessories. Illuminate your inner self, shatter the trendy norms, and open up your world to a newfound level of confidence and admiration. Garrett's Carrots at garrettscarrots.com. So now that is out of the way, how's everyone's going so far?
Better now that I'm off.
Bars are good.
Good? All right. Good.
I was going to ask you about the hat. I was like, what's the 216? It's 272.
It says 727. It's the area code that I live in.
I thought it was an area
Oh,
code. I
right,
figured it was Tampa Bay.
It's the area, and that's
area code.
the area code where right now the Rays are currently, if they move to Tampa, it'll be 813.
Oh, you'll have to get another hat.
Well, no, this is kind of cool. I saw this hat. I was at a Red Sox game, and I was with my bosses, and I said, you know what? I've been wanting this hat for a while, and I got it while I was there. So, kind of blend in with the home fans. Blend in with the home fans. But, yeah, it's a 727. It's the area code. So
I don't know who gave me a speaking job because I cannot speak tonight. Oh, my Jesus.
Okay.
I'm gonna go grab a beer. At least I'll have that excuse.
Lou, I was gonna start. We can start. I have an article about the Canadian national soccer team. I guess they're having issues with pay, kind of similar to what the United States women's national team kind of went through. Have you heard anything about that? Because you're more of a soccer guy than I am.
I heard a little bit about it. I didn't hear it full too much, but I hear they were having some issues with the financial problems.
I guess they're in a tournament in Orlando here. I'm about an hour and a half drive from here, but they're wearing purple in protest against their government for, I guess, not giving them equal pay. I guess it was the story that I read. So they're trying to get equal pay. So,
Right.
which I guess, I guess in some countries it's harder than it is here. It took the women a long time to get equal pay here.
Adam, I want that. I want that ice cold brew.
Yeah.
Please tell me that's not Modelo.
It's Miller High Life. It's the champagne of beer.
Hey,
I watch all his drink reviews on TikTok.
Hey,
I haven't done a Miller Lite review. That's a good one.
I got 2 tall boys of Bud Light in my refrigerator. A neighbor of mine bought me a 6-pack for my birthday in October.
Nice.
Here this February, and I still got 2 cans left.
Well, I don't drink a lot of beer. I drink mixed drinks. Those are I don't have time. I don't feel like making one up right now. Did you see my last disaster? Did you see that video?
Which one was it, bud?
Where the shaker came apart on me?
I know. Did it come apart? Maybe I didn't watch far enough. I know you were having trouble opening the bottle. That was the last one I saw.
That was that video. Yeah, I couldn't get the. So I was making a whiskey highball, and I put the lid on the shaker, and I go to shake. I do a quick, slow shake, and I go to put it to get going after it, and just about the time I went like that, the whole top of the shaker flew off. I soaked myself in ginger beer and whiskey. Brilliant.
This is not brand, but you see the kind of fuzzies and everything behind me.
Yes.
Yeah, Gerald, that usually means you don't have enough light. I mean, sometimes that usually what that means.
Right.
So if try to get more light would be my only suggestion with that, because it happened. You can ask Adam when I first got mine. Mine was terrible with fuzz.
It was brutal.
Yeah,
it was pretty brutal.
I bought 2 photography lights off of Amazon, and you can't see them, but they're in front of me. And I have the diamond light on too, so that's why I've got more light in here. So,
how much were they?
I want to say they were like $40 for 2 of them. So it wasn't that they're not really expensive. They're not. I mean,
send me if you have the picture of them. Send them to me.
Sure, I'll look on Amazon for you, Jared. I'll send you the link to what I. Yep.
Yeah, you can go to Walmart and get a streaming setup. They got streaming lights at Walmart. They're like $20. They got like desktop.
But I like the idea that Brad was telling me about. I can get 2 of them for $40.
Yeah. I want to get a streaming setup, but I haven't gotten that far yet.
Now you can hook them up into regular outlets, right? You don't have to have them wired in. You can do them.
Yeah, they plug into they're a 2-prong outlet. They're 2-prong outlet.
And they just plug right into the wall.
They plug right into the wall. Yeah, they don't. No special plug-in or anything like that to them.
Are they stand mounted? They're on a stand, aren't they?
No, actually, Bud, they have connections and they're connected to the table that I'm sitting at.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
So you can either set them on a table or connect or hook them up on the wall.
Correct. I mean, the ones that I have are just connected to the
clips
table.
On the back.
Yeah, they connect to the table. And the one when mine have a clear thing on them now, but you can make them blue, yellow, purple. It all came with all the little sleeves you can put over them. So if you're a photographer and you're trying to take different themes or different background colors, you can do that. Yeah, there you go, Lou. But yeah,
I just not throw it in.
When I move back, it quits. So
Yeah.
When I move closer back, it quits. But when I come forward,
yeah. Actually, see, watch this. Watch
It's
this,
autofocusing.
Look at this. See, there's no green screen there. See, that's why it's all. See.
Yeah.
It's because the camera is trying to focus on the green screen. So when your arm is there, your arm is blocking out the green screen.
Right.
And so your camera is trying to focus on it's trying to focus, and so it's going to pick up the brightest object in the room. So when your skin is going to become is becoming the brightest object in the room. So when you're further back, you're taking the light off your face. So it's not focusing as much on it's not trying to capture the brightest light and the brightest surface in the room.
Correct.
Okay, so if I get those 2 photography lights, it should help.
It should help, yeah. Because it'll create more light on your green screen. So your green screen will be the brightest object in the room. And so when you're projecting your image onto the green screen, then your camera will focus on that as opposed to your skin, which becomes the brightest object in the room.
And Gerald, you can adjust the brightness in them too. So you can make them really bright or really dim, however you want to do it. Like photographers will do different things.
You guys show me how to do that on here.
I have no problem doing that, bud. No problem at all showing you that.
It's really not rocket surgery.
But if y'all know it looks for now, I'm happy.
Oh yeah, it looks fine. It doesn't look bad at all. Because
At least you don't go through the experiment of buying a separate camera and then the microphone failing out halfway through the. Ask Adam about that nightmare. I still have that camera.
Well, we've had nothing but issues with tech in this show.
When this green screen came in, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, it's not going to fit on the back of the chair that I use right. It's going to be all
wibbly wobbly.
So I kept thinking, I need to build a stand for it. I got to looking around. I tried everything I could think of. Nothing worked. I went into the spare room that we had that I called my office. Got to looking around. I've seen this old fan in there. The blade was broke. I mean, the fan itself was trashed. Got to looking. I said, okay, there's a stand. And if I had a piece of pipe just a little bit longer that I could connect between the two and make it higher, that should work.
Mm-hmm.
So I took it outside, took it all apart, built it. There it is.
Nice.
And women don't find it handsome.
What I like about it, you seen those fans that they turn and the right in the middle collapses?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is built on. So when I'm done with it, I just set it all down, put it all back down, then just move it outside this wall right here and it's out of the way.
Nice.
There you go. Hey, women don't find you handsome. They really find you handy.
Mm-hmm.
Who says you need to spend $40 on a stand? Just use your redneck brain.
If women don't find
you know what? DIY is awesome. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And I got so mad the first night I couldn't get it to work. I told my wife, I said, just call Amazon, set up a return on it. I'm done with it. She goes, no, you get it figured out. You figure out how to build a stand. Sure
Take a nap.
That's what I did. I went to bed and I thought about it.
Sometimes the easiest way to solve a problem is to get away from it.
Correct.
You stand there staring at it, cussing and fussing, and you can't figure out what you're close, but you're not close enough. So take a breath, walk away, do something else for a little while, come back to it and go, oh, light bulb.
Mm-hmm. And this one right here, you know how you got those car shades that you can fold it like this right here, it can do the same thing. It's this big, but it folds up to the size of a car shade.
Oh, nice.
That you can twist, just say twist, and I can put it back in the box when I'm not using it to keep it from getting tore up.
Nice.
Right on.
If I tear this thing up, y'all gonna be going to a funeral.
Yeah, probably.
That's not good.
Well, not speaking of
$39 on this thing.
Not speaking of funerals, but there's a big NASCAR event going on in my state on Sunday. Do you guys know anything about?
I heard something about that.
Yeah, the NASCAR season.
The Daytona 500.
Yeah, Daytona Beach, right?
That'd be somewhere in Daytona, right?
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Somewhere on the East Coast. East Coast of Florida. Yep.
Somewhere over there.
The greatest of them all.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen,
Any predictions, guys, on who you think might win?
let's see,
The
Alex
one that
Bowman-
doesn't red.
The one that doesn't. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. That's a
Well,
good
survives
answer.
all the crashes.
That's a
Well,
good.
I'm gonna
They
see. Alex Bowman is starting on the pole,
correct.
so we know it's hard to win from the pole. It can be done, but it's hard.
Because it's Daytona.
Yeah.
You can
I
you
thought
can
it
go
was
you
an
can,
advantage.
you can be leading in half a lap last. So
My 4 drivers I got picked that are going to come in first, second, third, and fourth. Well, my 3 drivers I got that are going to come in first, second, and third. It's going to be Chase Elliott's going to win it.
Okay.
Joey Logano's going to be second,
yep.
and Harvick's going to be third.
Could go
I don't think so. Because
Because
he's a
this is
chase guy.
Harvick's last year, so Harvick's going to try to go out with a bang.
Okay.
I think I like. I don't know about the 9. He's good. He's good, but he's had such shit luck. And that's the biggest thing is you got to have good luck. You got to be in the right lane at the right time and not get caught up in other people's messes. And it's so hard to handicap these bastards because that is the nature of this kind of racing. It's a product of plate racing, and you can be running. You can be a clean race all race long, and get wiped out with 3 to go because somebody made a bonehead move. Because it's go time. Penguin has fixed to open, and we got to go. So, this is one of those races where Bubba Wallace is going to be a threat to win it. Austin Dillon's a threat to win it. And Joey Logano's a threat to win it. Martin Truex, Denny Hamlin, take your pick. And it could be, if you got a fast enough, if you can stay in the draft, if you're fast enough to stay in the draft, you got a shot to win it all day long. So I hate picking Daytona because it is a crapshoot race. It's a wild card. You don't know what you're going to get until the green flag falls. And you can be on speed all weekend long and get in the wrong lane at the wrong time and go from 5th to 28th with 15 to go and just never find the right lane again and be done. I mean, the last 2 winners, Michael McDowell in 2021 and Austin Cindric last year, I don't think anybody in their right mind picked either one of those guys to win it all. So your favorites, your Chase Elliott's, Kyle Larson's, Alex Bowman, we know Alex Bowman's got a bad fast ride, but speed at Daytona is all relative. Because if your car won't draft, if your car won't handle in the draft, being fast doesn't do you any good. If you can't be fast 25 laps into a run when your fuel's burned off, the tires aren't grippy, you can be fast for 2 laps. But where are you going to be in 10 laps, 15 laps? If it goes green, if the final stage goes green, and you have 1 pit stop and you don't take tires and your car's slipping and sliding, you can't hold it on the yellow line, and you give a guy an inch, he's going to take a mile. So just watch for that on Sunday, and it should be calm. It's looking like it's no threat of rain Sunday afternoon. Overcast, mid-60s. I think that's what I saw earlier.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I saw too. Was mid to mid 60s to upper 70s.
And so, and if it's windy, there's all those things that you can't account for when you're setting the car up on Thursday evening, because it's an impound race. So tonight's the last night they got to work on the car. So whatever you got on Sunday morning is what you got until you get to the first pit stop. And if there's a strong hill, if there's a strong headwind off into 3 and 4, and you just can't go, and you get bogged down, and you miss your spot by an inch, and you get run over, and you wipe out 15 cars 8 laps into the race.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to see how it's going to go. Of course, there's 3 races here, 2 in Daytona and 1 in Homestead. But it's kind of cool to have it open here. I was reading an article, guys, that the NASCAR is going to name 75 greatest drivers as part of its 75th anniversary.
Yes.
The names will be released at the Goodyear 400 in Darlington.
That,
Through the 14th is when it will be renewed, or the list will be revealed.
that race either happens in March
May
or April.
It's May. It's Mother's
May.
Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And Brad, I told Adam this on my show, and I'm going to let you know this too. If you ever come to Austin for a COTA race, look me up, and I take you around and show you some hot spots in Austin.
Cool. Sounds good.
I'm thinking next year we're going. I'm going to Austin for COTA. This time I'm gonna take Brad. I'm gonna take Brad to Charlotte for the 600 this year, and the next year I'll take Joe to COTA for the 250.
Oh, that would be my dream come true to go to COTA, man.
I've heard good things about road course racing. My dad tells me to go to one, so we'll see about doing that next year. Because
I can take you down and show you the home of the Texas Longhorns.
There we go. Because I made a promise to Brad that we were going to. Ooh, it's getting windy here. We're going to Charlotte by hook or by crook. We're going to Charlotte later this year.
I can't wait to go to COTA next year. Now
should be fun. Hopefully they'll go back. As long as they're coming back.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna come back.
I think they signed an extension. So
because COTA's been a big track for them for the past couple of years that they've been there.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I'll fly into Austin that weekend, and then we'll go to the. We'll hammer out the details later on this year.
You're not afraid to fly?
No.
My feet
I
don't
love
leave
flying.
around.
I love to fly.
I'm going to have an airplane in September. I'm going skydiving.
Well, you'll be on one a lot sooner than September. You'll jump out of one in September. You'll be on one in May.
No, I don't mind flying.
Did you hear that, Brad? My wife said, "Take me with you."
It'll be my first time. It'll be my first time. I'm going to go on my 40th birthday. That's my game plan. Unless something gets away of it, yeah.
Up in an airplane and want me to jump?
13,000 feet above the ground.
I'm gonna wait till the plane comes back down to the ground, then jump.
13,000 feet above the ground.
Whenever you don't clap, don't be that guy.
I tell you right now, you see wings on my back? This boy don't fly.
Flying is so much fun.
Yeah, I agree. I would rather fly than do any other kind of traveling.
If the good Lord intended me to fly, he would have gave me wings.
Though I will say this, I do want to travel by train once. I haven't traveled by train, so I want to do that.
Train's fun too.
I want to do that. Travel by train. I do want to do that.
I've done it.
Yeah. Yeah, Amtrak somewhere. Take an Amtrak train somewhere, you know.
When the light rail was coming through here, that our light rail system, they were giving people demonstrations of it. I got on one. This track, man, it's the best feeling. You could going down the track, you hear those wheels going. You're like, oh crap! Is this thing gonna stop in the middle of the track or what?
Yes.
I was gonna go. You want to talk about train accidents? Look at the accident in Ohio. That's severe trouble in Ohio. Derailment, chemical train in Ohio.
I think they said that train was carrying chloride or something.
Hexafluoride. It's a chemical used in the.
Then they decided to let it on fire, and then it caused a mushroom cloud, and it's killing animals in Ohio and Pennsylvania. So smart move by the governments in those two states.
Jesus.
Where's the EPA at?
Yeah.
Did anybody call the EPA in and try to come clean it up?
That's why they burned it off.
That's why they burned. Yeah, exactly. That's why
because they had to. There was no other way to contain it.
Correct.
Do they know burning that stuff, they're going to kill innocent animals and people around there?
Well, it's going to be the lasting effects. It won't be right away. It'll be like in 20 years when they all have cancer and all kinds of other diseases and stuff from that stuff. Yeah. So, I mean,
That kind of reminds me of that movie Unstoppable, where that train was going around that
Pittsburgh.
That
That was from Pittsburgh. Yep. That was based on an actual event. I actually knew somebody that lived in Pittsburgh when that happened. He told me it was a very scary situation. We were on the news watching that train go down the track with no driver, no conductor, just going down the track at high speeds. So,
And the one that caused it, he got fired and went to work for a fast food restaurant.
yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
And Denzel Washington played in it. So, go watch that movie because it's got action. It's got some comedy in it.
It's a good movie. It's a recommendation in my book.
Mm.
It's a recommendation in my book. If you're into Denzel Washington movies, it's one of the ones you want to see with him in it.
Especially
It's an action movie.
When that yard manager tells the owner of the railroad, when he tells her, "I get him off the track," she goes, "Hey, I asked him nicely."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they
Rosario Dawson's character was she's a kick-ass character in that movie. She's the one who kind of set everyone straight, saved everybody's life, and took over her boss's job. She's like, "Yeah, it's my job now because you effed up." So yeah, I got you.
Yeah, y'all need to go watch that movie. It's excellent.
So let us talk about Major League Baseball since spring training is here. Pitchers and catchers have reported to spring training. I read an article, guys, that Alex Cora thinks that the new bases look like pizza boxes.
I've heard. I'll take mine with mushrooms.
Good choice. Good choice.
I take mine with extra olives.
Okay.
I like those too.
Yeah, should rub my neck when you those off.
I'll get green peppers.
Okay. All right.
Ain't going too far.
But leave the what's those little fishes called they put on there?
Anchovies.
Anchovies and mushrooms off, and I'm happy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like olives, so we're
gonna get a pizza delivered to all four of our houses all at the same time during the show.
Opening day.
Dude, pineapple does not belong on pizza, guys. Pineapple.
Simmer down.
Let's get a pizza sponsor, and then the first show that we have the sponsor, they can deliver pizza simultaneously to 4 different addresses.
Right.
In 4 different cities in 4 different states.
Yes.
Yeah.
But one drive.
In different time zones. In different time zones on top of that. So there you go.
But one drive.
Pineapple don't belong on pizza.
I like Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah.
If somebody else gets it, I'll eat a slice or two. But I'm not going to order Hawaiian. Yeah, pitchers and catchers have reported, huh?
Pitchers and catchers have reported.
Yeah.
And I was, go ahead, Lou.
They have. I think the last was today.
I was watching the 4-Letter Network before I got on here, and they were talking about the Shohei Ohtani being he's a free agent come November.
Interesting.
Here's the question I have: will he get the biggest sports contract ever come this offseason?
It's going to get a month. It depends on if he continues to rake like he did and pitch like he has. He will sign his name to a blank check and hand it to whichever organization feels like filling it out for him. That will be Boston, New York, LA. He's going to get big money somewhere.
I agree.
Somebody, obviously the usual suspects: Boston, New York, LA. Throw the Dodgers and the Cubs in there. Good Lord, Jesus Christ! But don't be surprised if he ends up in Arizona.
How about Philly?
Philly's a possibility too.
The Phillies.
But don't be surprised if he ends up in Arizona or Kansas City. Somebody that's a team that's looking to spark a rebuild.
Yeah.
I would. Who's got big purse? Who's got deep pockets, and is willing to make a splash. Somebody like don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Arizona is in the offing, or Colorado. Don't be surprised if one of those teams is in the running for his services next year. Of course, he's got roots in LA. It's his home. It's his first team. So LA will have pick 'em. We'll have first pick. But
I would, I'm going to go on a really far limb and say this. I'm going to say maybe Seattle. And the reason I say Seattle is there's a lot of Asian population in Seattle.
Right.
And that Sheo is, Otani is from
Japan, right?
Japan, I believe he's from. He would, I mean, again, you don't have to be with your people. I'm not trying to call people out or anything like that, but
it's familiarity,
Correct. And I think that would be a good. He basically be in the same division. He would just be changing his zip code from LA to Seattle.
Minnesota has a large. They have a large Vietnamese population, so
they do. Correct.
So the Twins could be in the running. Cincinnati could be willing to make a splash and throw some big money towards him. You kind of don't really count anybody out of the running. Tampa is the first, and I'm not picking on Tampa, but they're Tampa and
Oakland.
Thank you. They're the teams that come to mind that would be out on him. They're not big spenders. They're not big spenders.
Nope.
So, I think Texas is probably out. Right. I think
Rangers can make a splash at him.
They could. The Rangers can make a splash to try to bring him in. I also think it depends on how he does. If he has a down year, he could. If he doesn't produce like he has the last 2-3 years, he may end up signing for less money than we expect. Obviously, he won't you're looking at $500 or $600 million. But if he has a good year, I think 550, 10 years, 550 is in the offering. Maybe 12 years at 640, I think would be right in the range of what I would expect for him. If he continues to have an average year, if he has a down year, maybe 495, 500 for 10 years.
And a lot of times the guys that are up for a contract go off and rake. I could see him, if he goes off and has an outstanding year, I could see 750, 800.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you're talking maybe a handful of teams that could afford that kind of contract because
it's depending on the years too.
Correct. Yeah. How about 10-year, 800 million, 80 million
More
a year?
Than 80 million a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is he going to stick around that long?
True.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and he does, and see, he does both. See, he pitches and he hits, so he's a commodity. However, you want to flip.
He's a rare breed.
Correct.
Yes.
So,
he's in a way he's a dual athlete, but he's in the same sport. He's like a Bo Jackson, but he's in the same sport type of situation.
I think of him in the same kind of atmosphere as Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, there you go.
He can run, he can throw. And Patrick Mahomes is great at both. He's got great footwork, great speed, but he's like the next evolution of Michael Vick. He was the Michael Vick we all thought that if he could just be accurate, he's Michael Vick. Patrick Mahomes is Michael Vick, but he's accurate. And I think Shohei Ohtani is the kind of is in that same kind of conversation. Yeah, he can hit, but he can also pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of in rarefied air in the modern era of baseball, where you have a pitcher that can actually hit.
Right, and it looks like, guys, they're going to be implementing the ghost runner in all extra innings. Now that's a permanent.
Good.
Rob Manfred was at a press conference the other day. He mentioned that will now be a staple in baseball. So when you start the 10th inning, there will automatically be a runner in scoring position at second base. I think mainly they're doing that, A, to save players because of the season, B, to speed the game up. They want to get it over with. They don't want to have 24-inning games. They don't want to have 27-inning games anymore. Put it to you guys this way, and, we're not hardcore baseball fans. I don't think any of us can say we're hardcore baseball fans. But do you
Not
want to
anymore.
sit at the ballpark for 5 hours? I don't want to.
No,
I don't want to sit at a baseball stadium for 5 hours watching a baseball game. But
No,
what is the average is what, 4 hours, 4.5 hours now? So
yeah.
I think it was 328 last year was what I think the average was.
320,
Still,
3.5. Oof, that's a long time to sit in it. I guess you could get up and move around. I know a lot of people move around, but
the problem is that baseball is a very slow, deliberate sport.
it is.
exactly.
You don't do baseball isn't played fast, unless you're Greg Maddux, which he doesn't count. And I think the biggest thing with baseball is that, it's not a good sport for TV. It's really not a TV sport. Baseball is a great sport for radio, where you're not watching what's happening, right? When you're watching, watching a baseball game is mind numbing. And I think baseball is great if you're there in person. Baseball is great on the radio. Baseball is incredible on the radio because you don't have to see it to know what's going on, right?
Right.
I can, if I tell you Patrick Mahomes is rolling to your right, rolling to his right, and he throws 8 yards down the field and completes it to Travis Kelce. Kelce turns upfield. He's at the 20, 25, and he's bumped out of bounds at the 30. Okay, you can have an idea of what that might look like, but
Yes.
it's so much easier to know what it is when you can see it. But with baseball, if I tell you the pitch was, he kicks, delivers, and it's a strike, you know exactly what that is. You don't need to know that it was, inside and it's 2 inches on the plate, 3 inches high, right? That doesn't really matter. So for radio, if you hit a pop fly to the infield, you know what a pop fly to the infield is. You've seen baseball. If a guy crushes one deep to left field and it's out of there, it was a 400-foot home run. You know what a 400-foot home run looks like.
Yeah.
And I think baseball is really, really a radio base. Baseball was great for radio. And so listening, if you have a good broadcast crew that can keep you engaged, and it can provide, because there's a lot that happens. There's a lot that you have to do in between each pitch as a radio guy. As a TV guy, when you're watching them just kind of stand around doing nothing, it's hard to keep the audience engaged.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like having a podcast like what we do. If nobody's talking, you're tuning out.
Right.
Because when you listen to a podcast, you're expecting to hear things. So when you're watching a baseball game, when you're watching a show, you're expecting to see things because it's a visual medium, and baseball is very much built for an audio medium. So you can watch. Of course, baseball can be enjoyable on TV. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that baseball can't be enjoyable on TV.
Right.
But watching a baseball game is only good if you're there in person, and really only good if your team is winning. And I've said this before about baseball. A 1-0 9-inning pitchers duel is only good. It's only good if it's your team and your pitcher.
Right.
Well, I was going to say, I forget who I watched a YouTube clip the other day, and they were talking about Vin Scully. And they were talking about how, like, when they listened to him, who the heck was it that they said that? Oh, I'm sorry. It was, what was his name? Who's on the TV show Breaking Bad? Bryan Cranston. Cranston was on Hot Ones, the chicken wing show, which I watch it, all the time. I watch it when they have a new episode. Anyway, he had a rough childhood. And he said that when the one thing that got him through his tough days is turning on the radio, putting headphones on and listening to Vin Scully for 3 hours. He said because the man could tell you a story about what was going on, in Dodger Stadium. And he could tell you and make it sound magical. And you can go back and listen to Vin Scully, and Ernie Harwell with the Tigers, Red Barber with the Yankees. You can go back and listen to all the great ones that, in the past that made, as Adam said, made made baseball for radio, made it telling a story, going, yes, this is what is going on, and magical stuff.
Well, it's like when we had Jim Branstetter on the show last year, or the year before last now. Talking to him about being a radio guy and how much different it is than being a TV guy. When you're a radio guy, you have to paint with words. You have to tell the people who are listening exactly what's happening. And so when baseball is very much an audio medium. Baseball plays so well on the radio when you have those long pauses in between pitches, and you can get into a story and you can talk about something that happened. And you got old timers, guys that played in the 60s and 70s, and they can tell stories about their time playing baseball, and you're not losing action, So you can, if it's just my guys were oh God, why can I not remember? Jim Price and Dan Dickerson were the Tigers radio guys. And I listen to them religiously. Like I would much rather listen to the radio guys than the TV guys. So when Jim would call the play, would do play-by-play, and then Dan would launch into a story, right? And so you go 45 seconds. You might get the next batter would come up, and he'd tell you about the batter, his stats, and how he'd been doing the last week or month. Depending how let's say it was April 17th, so we're a month and a half into the season. We're 3 weeks into the season, so now we got some stuff. We got some a stat line. He's hitting 286, 6 home runs, and 21 RBIs, and so you run down the stat line and talk about last year, what he did last year, and then Dan would say something, would start talking about a story of when he was with the Tigers in 86 or 88, 68 when they won the World Series. And so, and then, you have the next pitch. Jim would call the pitch. So-and-so is going into the windup, and the pitch just a bit outside. and so then Jim or Dan would be able to finish his story. Well, when you're watching on TV, launching into a story, like in a football game or a basketball game or a hockey game, when the action is constant. If you're trying to tell a story about something that happened in 1968 when you were on the Flyers when they won their last cup or whatever, it's hard to get those stories in and get them in. Tell stories, even like for a guy like Greg Olson, and to talk about when he was with the Panthers, as a TV guy, people don't care about your stupid story. Just tell me what's going on today, because I can see what's happening on the field. Don't try to tell me an anecdote about something that happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 40 years ago, whatever. Right. Just tell me about now. And then the same thing is so true with baseball. If I'm watching baseball on a TV, I don't need a story about something that happened in 1968 when you were winning a World Series. Don't care. Tell me what's going on now.
Yeah.
Well, and some of the other rule changes that are coming are there's going to be a pitch clock. So the pitcher will have 15 seconds when there's nobody on base and 20 seconds in between pitches while there is somebody on base.
And 30 seconds when there's a runner at second, I think is what I saw.
Something along those lines. And the shift isn't banned.
Well, actually, it's 30 seconds in between.
30 seconds in between. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Did they say anything about the banning the shift? I heard they were going to ban the shift, or are they going to limit?
They're modifying the shift. You have to have a certain number of infielders. You have to have 4 infielders on.
Okay.
2 infielders on each side of second base.
Is it going to work like a play clock in the NFL?
Kind of. It'll be like a shot clock in basketball.
In basketball.
So if the pitcher doesn't make the pitch within that time, is it going to be called a foul?
We got a ball.
And it'll be an automatic ball. If the batter isn't ready, it's an automatic strike.
Yep.
See, it cuts both ways. So it's not just the pitcher. It is called a pitch clock, but it cuts both ways. So if the batter isn't ready, then it's an automatic strike.
You're not going to see Nomar Garciaparra up there restructuring his gloves after every pitch. Not going to happen anymore. They don't have that kind of time anymore to. And I think I read an article that there was some relief pitcher that took almost 35 seconds in between pitches. 35 seconds in between pitches.
Too long. Too long.
Yeah, if you
beating it up. Yeah. And wasn't there a writer that passed away today at 81? Famous
Yeah,
baseball
well,
writer.
Podcaster and former catcher.
Yes.
And a Yankee hater at that. Tim McCarver.
Tim
McCarver.
McCarver.
no.
Yeah, he passed away today.
Oh.
Yeah, he
I would
passed
take my
away
hat
today.
off, but
Yeah,
I loved him.
81.
He was one of the good ones.
I remember Tim McCarver when he got in that fight with Deion Sanders. You remember seeing that on YouTube? Go and
No, I
Google,
haven't.
Google
I
that
have to
on
look that up.
YouTube. He was in the locker room interviewing Deion after I think he was when Deion was with the Braves. I think they had lost or something, and Deion chucked a whole glass of Gatorade in his face. And Tim goes, "That's pretty classy there, Deion," and Deion walks away. You'd have to watch it.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up.
I think McCarver had written an article about him earlier in the week about him trying to be Bo Jackson, and he's not Bo Jackson. Yeah, he didn't like that too much.
Well,
or why he played in a football game and then came. I don't remember what. You have to go back and watch it, but just
yeah.
YouTube Tim
Yeah.
McCarver and Deion Sanders, and you'll see the clip because it's. I can't play it on here because we'll get copyrighted if we do it. So
Yeah, we don't need that.
yeah, I'll have to cut it out of the
Well-
video. I don't want to do that.
No, don't do that.
Prime
I
believes
mean,
his
I
own
have to cut
press.
it out of the video because it'll get copyrighted, and I don't want to do that. So
No.
The Prime believed his own press, mostly because he wrote it. But that's
yeah.
neither here nor there.
Yes. Again, rest in peace, Mr. McCarver. I enjoyed listening to Tim when he was on
Yeah.
ESPN, when he was on Fox. But he, Lou's right. He was a Yankee hater. he was a Yankee hater. He's, but he was one of the great ones. I mean, is Peter Gammon still here, or did he pass away too?
You're gonna put me on the
I
spot.
believe
I
he still
don't
is.
remember.
Okay.
I want to say he was. I want to say he is, but I don't remember offhand.
Okay. Because he's another one of those good writers too. Gammon's been around the game since what? 2 decades, 3 decades or something. He's been around for a long time in baseball.
Easy.
Yeah, in baseball. So, yeah.
He's up
seen
there
a
with
lot of-
Buster Olney, man. Buster
Yeah,
Olney is great.
Yep, there's another one. Another good one when it comes to baseball.
You know who else I like is Jeff Passan.
Who's he right
yeah.
for? ESPN?
The Atlantic, if I remember right. At one point, he
Yes,
worked.
he's been the
Okay. I think I've read some of his articles.
He was on ESPN. He writes for the Atlantic. I don't know. Last I knew, he wrote for the Atlantic, and he still does appearances on ESPN. Last I knew.
Yes,
Okay.
you've seen him on
So,
there.
Lou, the NBA trading deadline has come and gone. I'm going to give you some training deadline grades for each team. This is on newarena.com. This is their article, so these are their picks.
All right.
They give the Houston Rockets a C. They give the Spurs a B. Okay, I'm going to have to go through all of these now. I thought they were all on one page. I'm going to have to hit the next button. Yeah.
Now I would.
Thought they were all on. They give the Lakers an A. Who did the Lakers pick up? Because Stephen A. Smith was on First Take this morning talking about how they're going to make a playoff run.
Yeah,
Who
I
did
doubt that very much.
get?
Lakers
Who
got.
did the Lakers get that
They
they're all of a
don't give
sudden
it
in
a
the
good.
playoff talks again?
I mean, there are 5. They are still 5 games below 500, so they got some, work to make up.
They have to work cut out for him, don't they?
Yeah. They got D'Angelo Russell, McQueek Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, Mo Bamba, Devin Reed, and Rua Hamachimura. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but they lost Westbrook, Beverly, Bryant, Nunn, Jones. They lost a bunch of players, but they gave them an A.
Yeah, you're not going to win with that.
Yeah, they gave them an A. I can't go through all these. It'll take me too long. through the damn article, but I know that the deadline had just passed. Because aren't the top teams are still Boston, Phoenix, and the such, right? Those are still the two top teams in the league. I think, let me see if I have, I think I had an article about the power rankings. Yes, I do, from ESPN.com. So these are the power rankings from ESPN. Now, these links open differently on this laptop than on my old one, so these open up a little bit differently than the other one did. Okay, so this again, guys, is ESPN.com's power rankings for the NBA. They have, let's see, number 1 is Boston. I think we all figured that was who number 1 was going to be. Number 2 is Milwaukee, the Bucks. Number 3, come on, is Denver. Number 4 is Philadelphia. 5 is Cleveland. 6 is Phoenix. 7 is Memphis. 8 is Sacramento. Dallas is 9. The Miami Heat are 10. The Clippers are 11. The Knicks are 12. The Nets are 13. The Timberwolves are 14. The Pelicans are 15. Golden State is 16. Atlanta is 17. Portland is 18. Oklahoma City is 19. Utah is 20. Toronto is 21. The Lakers are 22. Washington is 23. Chicago is 24. Orlando is 25. Indiana is 26. Charlotte's 27. Detroit's 28. San Antonio is 29. Houston is the last team at number 30. I don't know a lot about basketball to agree or disagree with those picks or ratings. So
I think they're probably right.
Yeah.
I have the Magic here, so I know we suck.
Yes.
I know we suck. So
Right.
Another long season of a series of disappointments.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to have been to a live NBA game. That is something that is on my bucket list to go. But again, I'd have to drive 2.5 hours to Orlando. So I have to pick a day, maybe stay the night over in Orlando and then come back the next day. But I haven't been to a live NBA game.
I haven't been to NBA or NFL yet.
So we can move on, guys, if you want, to the National Hockey League. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is the Stadium Series game is this weekend, right, between Washington and Carolina?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and Ovechkin is out due to a family emergency in Russia.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he I think he's going to be gone for a couple weeks.
Mm.
I thought he got injured, and I'm like, oh, here I am bragging. He's going to break the record, and he's hurt. No, it was a family. It's a family. Yeah, he's a family. He's out with family issue he needs to take care of in Russia. I think it was maybe a parent or something that he had to go back to Russia for. So
yeah.
But yes, Ovechkin will not be. So this is the first time I think the Carolina Hurricanes have been in an outdoor game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct.
Okay. So there's only been a few teams that have not played in an outdoor game. Florida is one of them. The Florida Panthers are one of them. I don't know. Well, Seattle, obviously, but I think the game next year is in Seattle outside. I think it's Seattle and Vegas next year outside in Seattle. So that should be
Florida team one too.
Yeah, I think I don't know who else other than those two. Vegas obviously would be one of them, but that's going to be taken care of next year.
Yep.
Going through all of them, the past ones, I can't say the Lightning anymore because we were in there last year, so I can't say. Last year I think
the four are Carolina, Vegas,
Florida.
and Seattle,
and Florida.
And Florida. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next 2 years we'll have all but one team left that hasn't been in one yet, and that's the Panthers. And they're actually talking about how they can do an outdoor game here in Florida. I don't know how that's
Right.
going to work.
Why not? Be a perfect spot for it.
Well, it doesn't get cold here. It doesn't get, and you can't have slushy ice. You're going to hurt. You're going to hurt people. You can't do that.
That'd just be terrible to play on.
Yeah.
Right.
Regardless, even if somebody doesn't get hurt, it's just not going to play. It's not going to produce good hockey.
Correct.
It doesn't, even December, January, February, it really doesn't get cold enough, except maybe in the Panhandle, but
that's it.
It's too far away, though.
Correct. Because it would be Florida against Tampa Bay. So if there was an outdoor game and you're going to go to the Panhandle, that's a 4 or 5 hour drive from Miami, where Sunrise is at. You're talking 6-7 hour drive from there to get to the Panhandle. So I mean, I know people will do it. I know they'll do it, but still, it's a far drive.
It really is. It's really pulling them out of the market, though.
Correct.
Like when you have an outdoor game, you want to put it in the home team's market. So when, Sunrise or Tampa, or within the home team's market, it's like 30 miles. You want to be within 30 miles of the home team's market, so that it's not so it's not like having a game in Nashville or Detroit or Chicago or New York. You want to the stadium that might not be right next to, in the case of Detroit, it is right next door. But, Nissan Stadium is right next door. So you're not asking your fans to drive 4 hours for a game that's not even in their home market.
Well, I guess I heard Bud too. My roommate was telling me this the other day that with the game we went to last year in Nashville, they were having issues with the ice, and they were even talking about moving the game back to the Nashville's arena. And it didn't happen that way. The weather was because I can be honest with you, it was like in the 20s. The wind was blowing. It was near teens on game night. It was blowing. But again, I don't know if the wind does any good for the cold for the ice or not. I don't know. I don't know how that does. But I know
so much.
We don't have the weather here unless there's some scientist that can make ice that doesn't melt from heat. Then there won't be a game here.
Yeah, you'd have to raise the freezing temperature of water quite a bit.
Yeah, because they're talking Raymond James Stadium, and that's through the Bucks and USF play. And I just unless they can guarantee it's going to be in the 30s for 4 or 5 days in a row, which there's no guarantee that'll ever happen here. It's not going to work. But again, who knows? They may come up with some scientific advancement where they can have it in 90-degree weather. Who knows? I don't know.
Right. You need 3 or 4 days of mid-40s during the day and cool nights. What you really need is cool nights.
Yes.
Because you can work the ice even in the 50s. You can work with the ice because there's so much science that goes into it now that it's like it's not like they're not playing on a pond. But if it's going to be in the 70s and the mid 60s or low 70s during the day, it's going to be brutal on the ice. Look at what happened last year when they tried to play at Lake Tahoe. And it was just too damn warm during the day, and they ended up having to move the game all the way back to midnight. So stupid.
Well, I mean, here today, guys. I mean, here today, the high here today was 80. It's February. So that's what I'm saying.
We had 60.
You can't have 80-degree weather during the day and expect it to. I mean, like Adam said, you have to play at midnight. No one's going to stay up for that unless it's on a weekend. You're not going to have it during the week. No one will be awake. So
I went out to the bar on. I didn't bother staying out. I went out instead of waiting until midnight for a hockey game. Screw that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So then their deadline is coming up too, right? NHL trading deadline, I think, is okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up rather quickly. I guess we'll see who I don't expect too many of the top teams to make any big moves.
Yeah, I think most of the big moves have already been made.
Correct. Like Horvat being traded, guys like that are, if anything, you're going to see midline centers or defensemen being traded to contenders, rental players as they call them.
Yeah, trading for depth.
Yeah, draft capital.
Yeah,
all that stuff. Because
the
number one pick I think right now is the Blackhawks, if I'm not mistaken. I think they own the number one pick.
Yeah.
I watched the Lightning play Arizona last night in that college arena. It's so different watching. It's so different watching a game in an NHL arena compared to watching it in a college arena, where there's no nets. There's no nets behind the goals. The pucks go into the stands. There's no nets behind the goals like there is in NHL arenas. But it's pretty
crappy. A joke.
It's pretty crappy that they're stuck.
And not a funny one either.
Where the Arizona State Sun Devils play. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
I got 1 hour left, guys. I have NFL. We'll talk about Super Bowl. We can talk about that. But I have college. And I have the WWE, which Elimination Chamber is this weekend. Do you guys want to talk about that, or do you want to go? You want to talk about college sports?
We touch on WWE.
Gerald, you know about what's coming up on Elimination Chamber. You know what that is, right?
I know there's a few matches coming up.
Let me give you a list of, they say here are the top 5 matches that you can see. You can't miss watching. So these are the top 5 that they've rated. And this is from...
I know Sami Zayn wants Roman Reigns.
That will be one of them. That's one of the matches. And lo and behold, that's, I believe, one of them that's on here. Yes, the WWE Undisputed Championship between Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. The United States title Elimination Chamber match, which will feature Seth Rollins, Alpha Academy's Chad Gable, Johnny Gargano, Baron Corbin, and Bronson Reed will be the overpowered Dolph Ziggler to book their spots in the chamber. Their 2 spots went to Damian Priest and Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, who overcame Elias. So those will be the guys vying for the United States Championship. The Raw Women's title at WrestleMania will be determined. The winner will face against Bianca Belair. That's Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, Asuka, Natalya, and Carmella. Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley. That's one of them. And the other one is Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. Those two, Jesus.
Okay.
Those two don't
the men's elimination chamber match. I got to give it to Bronson Reed because Bronson's a big boy.
You mean the United States one? Because I forget who's in the chamber for the right to face. Well, Cody Rhodes has got one of those spots at WrestleMania.
Yep.
But
and if Sami Zayn beats Roman Reigns, then will be Sami Zayn with the title going into WrestleMania
against Cody.
So, but I'd have to look to see who's in the Elimination Chamber for the men. Hang on a second, let me see real quick.
Now for the women's, I don't care if it's Raquel Rodriguez or Liv Morgan because I like both of them.
I like to see Liv.
I'm a real fan.
I like to see Liv win because she was the champion at one time, and then Ronda Rousey came back and took it from her, and she hasn't gotten an opportunity to go back to reclaim it or anything.
Now that match between Bobby and Brock, they messed up on that. They should have had that a no holds bar match.
I agree.
Because that's the only way you're going to settle that is to let those two big men go at it, fight until one of them collapses or one of them can't get up.
Yeah, see, there it is right there. Okay, the Elimination Chamber for the United States Championship is Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins. Then the 4 chambers will be Gargano, Reed, Priest, and Montez Ford. And then
I got to give it to Bronson.
And then the Elimination Chamber for the ladies, Raquel Rodriguez versus Liv Morgan, and then Nikki Cross, Asuka, Natalya, and Carmella will be in the chambers.
I wonder if Roman's going to drop the belt to Sami Zayn this weekend.
What do you have?
I was kind of happy when he hit him with a chair at Royal Rumble.
I called that. Didn't I say Sammy was going to turn on the bloodline?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's done everything for them and gotten nothing back in return. You know what I mean? Like he's got. I mean, I understand that's the way it's written, and we all know that wrestling is written and fake and it's all scripted. But it's
5% of it's not fake because you still have your injuries that are real.
Oh no, yeah, no doubt. There are correct, absolutely.
The injuries are real. The story is fake.
95% of it is fake.
I still think that Roman will end up facing Rocky at Mania.
I think so too.
I think Sammy's going to take Roman out.
And I think Sammy will win the belt, and Rock will be on Raw on Monday, and Rock will challenge Roman for the right to the bloodline.
Rock, Cody Rhodes, and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Now, here would be a good match for WrestleMania. This would be an excellent match.
Fatal 4-way.
Let's say if Sammy wins the championship, Rock versus Sammy versus Cody Rhodes.
Triple threat.
Triple threat match.
Or even if Roman keeps it, still have the triple threat match.
Yeah, I like that. And how you could do that is you can let Cody win the match
versus Cody.
Let The Rock, because they're not going to give it to The Rock. The Rock's not there, and his football league starts on Saturday. So
I still think that I think there'll be co-main event. I think it'll be Sammy versus Brock versus Cody at Mania on Sunday night, and I think Roman versus Rock will be Saturday night. And I think that it will be for the bloodline. I think it'll be the battle for the bloodline. And I think Roman will go over Rock, and everyone will hate it, and it will just further divide the fan base on Roman Reigns because Rocky is beloved and Roman is hated.
Correct.
And they pushed Roman for going on 10 years now, and no, he still is not beloved. He's still hated.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that is true.
That's the angle that's how I see it shaking out. Sammy will win the title, and will face Brock and Cody for in a triple threat at Mania. Either that or Cody will take the belt off of Sammy before Mania and will face Brock, or Brock will take the belt off of Sammy, either way, and will face Cody at Mania for the belt. And Rock will face.
Now, here's what I think could happen with this.
Okay.
Brock, let's say if it is a triple threat match, and let's say Brock does win, become the unified WWE champion. That's going to put a wedge between Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. The reason why Paul is with Roman is because of that championship.
Right. And so if Roman doesn't, if Brock has both belts, He doesn't need Roman anymore.
Exactly. And Paul would.
And Paul's if Paul is anything, he's nothing but a good businessman.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly. So if Roman loses and Brock wins, watch Paul Heyman try to get back with Brock.
And I Paul Heyman is he's one of those love to hate him kind of guys. I love to hate Paul Heyman. He makes it so easy to hate him. He's such a slime ball. And I know Paul Heyman, the real person, the non-character. I don't know what his real name is. I don't know if Paul Heyman's his real name or not. I don't know. And I know that he's playing the character. And
He
so
reminds me so much of Bobby Heenan.
Mm,
Bobby the Brain.
Mm-hmm. I remember him.
That
Mm.
Bobby Heenan was a little weasel.
oh yeah. I mean, all the great managers are.
I even liked him, Gerald, when he was with Tony Schiavone on WCW. They used to call WCW together. And Schiavone was, he was always the face, loved all the faces. Bobby the Brain Heenan loved all the freaking, heels. And that was the way Brain was. Brain was always a guy he was the bad guy. Paul Heyman is the exact same way. You like you said, you love to hate him. And you know what? He plays the role so well that it's hard to hate him because he plays the role so well. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and they all repeat it. So they know. They know.
Yeah, it's so.
I told him something else, but I can't say it on air.
Say no more.
But I will tell Brad and Adam what I call him after the show.
But anyway,
my wife already knows what I think about Paul.
the Elimination Chamber is it Saturday or Sunday? Is it Saturday?
It's gonna be Sunday.
Sunday.
I was gonna say it's Sunday.
Royal Rumble was on a Saturday. It wasn't on a Sunday. It was on a Saturday.
Is that right?
Yeah.
All big matches on Sunday. I just think that UFC's on Saturday, so I thought they would have the wrestling on Sunday. But I guess I could be wrong.
Monster Trucks are on Sunday.
That's true.
Let's see.
That's right. WrestleMania is a 2-night event.
Yeah,
Correct.
and that's that's why I think that, and I think that you need two main events. You have
The
a Saturday
Elimination
night main
Chamber
event.
is on Saturday the 18th. So it's on a
Okay.
Saturday. Yep.
I agree
It's on
with Adam.
Saturday.
Yeah.
It would be good to have a on Saturday when it first starts on Saturday night, have a main event. Have a Saturday night main event like they used to back in the old days. It used to come on NBC called Sunday Night Main Event. But on Sunday, have a main event to close it out. Saturday main event, I would love to see the triple threat match.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think WrestleMania opens up on April Fool's Day, Saturday, April 1st, and then Sunday, April 2nd, it concludes. So it's on April Fool's. So you could have the WWE playing a lot of tricks on you on April 1st.
I was just going to say, they could.
The Saturday night main event, Bobby and Brock.
Saturday night, if you're going to do that, if you're going to have a main event, it's got to be Roman versus Rock. It's got to be Roman versus Rock. And then on Sunday night, you have the triple threat: Brock versus Cody versus Sammy.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
But
Sounds good to me.
that
would be
rivalry
great.
between Bobby and Brock's not going to go away.
Oh, no. They don't like each
I
other.
don't think so.
Those two don't like each other.
I think
They're supposed to like each other.
if I was booking it and I could get, if I could get Rocky for Saturday night, if I could book him for Saturday night, I had it in the bag, I would have the Bloodline and Sami Zayn standing on the ramp watching. And I would go ahead and put Rocky, I would have Rocky win the match, and then I would have the Bloodline and Sami Zayn come down and just kick the shit out of Roman. I would.
You still got who? The Bloodline is still what?
The Usos.
Roman Reigns,
Yeah. But one of the Usos is gone. Jay's gone, right?
Solo Sakai.
Yeah.
And one of the Usos. I don't know if it's Jimmy or Jay because both of them look alike to me.
All right.
I want to say Jay. Jay left. I think Jimmy's still there. I'm not good question on which one.
I haven't watched. I had no idea, so I apologize.
One of them left after they had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn just absolutely beat to a bloody pulp at WrestleMania at WrestleMania or Royal Rumble, and they lined them up. They were gonna sweet chin music them, and Jay.
Actually, it's the Samoa Spike.
There you go. And they decided, one of them went, nope, I'm not doing this. And he jumped out of the ring and walked up the ramp. They all yelled at him. And then I guess this past week, he showed up for their title defense, for their tag team champions. So I don't know. There's some, I think Cody Rhodes had a in-ring conversation with Sami Zayn. He said, you've begin. How do you break the bloodline? You've done it already. You put a crack in between them. You started it. So you go beat Roman. You go beat Roman in Elimination Chamber because you've already started. The crack has already started. And even if he doesn't win, like Adam said, you could see that at WrestleMania. You could see Sammy coming down and screwing somebody. He screwed Roman, hit Roman with a chair. Why not screw him out of a match with The Rock or with Cody? Who knows? You could have a Cody Sammy rivalry for a little while too.
I think that would work really well. That's why I like the idea of Sammy and Sammy and Cody and Lesnar in a triple threat, because it really evens the odds because of who Brock is. Brock being Brock, Cody Rhodes against Brock on its own just doesn't seem fair. So I like the idea of turning it into a triple threat and putting Sami Zayn in the ring with the other two. And then because Sammy and Cody are about the same size, and then they can gang up on Brock for a while, beat up on him, and then Brock will beat on both of them, and then you can pick your winner from there. And I think you put the belt on Brock.
But I do like what you were saying, though, Adam. But here's how I would play this whole this whole Roman and Rock thing out.
Okay.
Have Rock show up Monday night on Raw.
After Elimination Chamber?
Yeah. Call Roman out. And
losing the belt.
Have those two call each other out, or have Rock call Roman out. Those two get into a feud, then set it for WrestleMania.
Exactly.
And the winner of that match gets control of the bloodline.
Exactly. I've been saying that for about a year now. I think that's the angle that they're going to play, because Roman and Rock are real life cousins.
Yeah, they are. And it's time for Roman to step back, take a break for a while.
Because he's almost had the belt for 3 whole years.
Yeah, and Roman's already said he wants to spend time with his family.
And it would be a great way for him to drop the belt, go out with an epic match against Rock, and take some time away. Get hurt again in the match against Rock, hurt his shoulder, and need 6 months to rehab it.
And then come back and make a run again to get the championship back.
To take the belt back off of Lesnar at the next WrestleMania.
And have Roman come back. Have Roman come back as a babyface.
Yeah. As a face. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Get him to get back to the fans.
Because you would have Rock as a heel with the bloodline.
Yeah, Brock makes a great heel. Brock's always been a great heel.
I mean, The Rock would be a heel with the bloodline.
Right.
And then you would have Brock as being a heel again.
Yeah, you could have Rock do a heel turn at WrestleMania and have him be the bad guy for a year if Rocky wants to come back and wrestle.
Is Lesnar considered a face right now?
He's considered independent. He can go anywhere right now.
he's never been he's always been a both neither, you know.
Right now,
Brock does Brock
Brock-
things, and that's what he's going to do.
Brock is Brock. He's going to do what he wants to do on his own terms.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, Brock's never been neither. Brock really isn't a face or a heel. He's somewhere in between. You know, Brock is one.
Brock is what they call an independent. He does what he wants to when he wants to do it.
Right.
Right. Brock is a.
And if Brock doesn't like what you got him planning to do, he's going to basically tell you, beep off.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it my way.
Yep.
Sure.
That is true.
He was the same way when he was with UFC.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely.
That is true.
But I have to admit to one thing: you have to give Brock credit. That man is a monster in the ring. He gives the fans their money's worth.
Mm-hmm. I've never been He's a great competitor. He's a great worker, but I've never been a Brock Lesnar fan.
Me neither.
Neither have I.
But I respect him. I respect him for what he can do in that ring. But
Both of them, both in the UFC and in the.
But as a character, no.
No, I don't like him as a character. You know, and again, it's like, you know, he's playing a character. Brock Lesnar is a character, and I'm sure he's an incredibly different guy outside the ring. I'm sure he's very likable, very personable. You know, I think.
When him and Roman went up against each other, and he took that tractor and lifted that one side of that ring up. Brock had me laughing on that one. I'm like, what are you doing, Brock? You trying to bury him with the ring?
Yep.
I couldn't do nothing but laugh. I'm like, okay. WWE's reaching for storylines on this one, huh?
Still to this day, girl, my favorite is Kurt Angle with the milk truck. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Oh, how about this one? Stone Cold with the beer truck.
Oh, well, I mean, Austin was
a different breed.
He's in his own. Austin's in his own universe. I mean, still in his own universe.
Brock Lesnar reminds me of Stone Cold at times. Does what he wants to on his own terms.
That's true.
Yeah, and just in a different way.
Exactly.
Like, Stone Cold was so likable, though. He was a likable asshole, and Brock is an unlikable asshole. And I think that's the big difference. You know, no. Let me explain.
Both of them do what they want on their own terms at their own time.
Ooh, okay. And but Austin was the kind of guy. Austin, the character, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the character, was the kind of character you could see yourself hanging out with, right? Having a beer and talking shop and just, you know, he was an asshole. He's a little rough around the edges, but he wasn't a bad guy, you know. He looked like he would be.
He was the beer drinking redneck. He was the beer drinking, hell raising redneck.
Exactly, the kind of guy that, you know, the kind of guy you knew at the. You knew two of those guys that you worked with at the shop, you know. And Brock Lesnar is a college guy. You know, he went to school. He's refined. He's got a Letterman. He's the guy that sits up in the office all day, and he tells you what you're gonna do, and you're gonna do it. You know, he's an unlikable asshole. Whereas, you know, Stone Cold was a likable asshole. He's, you know, he's a bit of a jerk. He's a bit meanie. He's a bit off color. But at the end of the day, you know, you can count on Stone Cold to be there with the pickup to help you pull you out of the ditch. You know, he's gonna have a chain. He's gonna be able to pull you out of the ditch. Mm-hmm. Brock Lesnar is the kind of guy. Well, why did you go in the ditch in the first place? I wouldn't have done that.
But back when Stone Cold was wrestling, that was a different era because you knew as soon as you heard that music, the glass breaking, and that you knew somebody was about to get an ass whooping.
Yeah. Yep.
Especially when he jumped up on the ring and gave you the Stone Cold salute.
Absolutely.
And if you were in that ring and you didn't drink a beer with Stone Cold, he was going to stun you.
Even if you drink a beer,
even if you did drink a beer.
I was gonna say he would still stun you if you were having a beer with him.
See, the
So
great
it
thing
didn't
about
matter.
Stone Cold.
Let's say he even did Stacy. He even stunned Stacy Keibler.
Yep.
Stone Cold, yeah, this is what a lot of guys talk about working with Stone Cold is they love to take the stunner because you could sell the hell out of it.
Yep.
You could sell the hell out of it. So some moves you really can't sell. But the stunner, you could sell the stunner. Oh, yeah, it was great.
Rock.
You could just...
The Rock did it a lot of times. The Rock
I
sold that
remember-
so much.
I remember when Kevin Owens called Stone Cold out.
Mhm.
When they
Yeah.
had that match. Kevin Owens didn't want no more Stone Cold after that.
Well, it's like it's awakening a monster.
It's gonna be a dream, though. Growing up in the '90s, I know Kevin Owens is fairly young, so I'm sure he grew up watching Stone Cold, and to be able to take a bump from Stone Cold, that'd be like just it's a thing you tell your grandkids about.
Yes.
I took a bump from Stone Cold. Okay, sure you did, Grandpa.
You know, talking about drinking a beer.
Yeah, but it's gotta hurt them.
I wouldn't mind sitting around a campfire drinking a couple beers with Stone Cold.
Right?
That'd be cool.
That'd be very
Yeah,
cool.
he seems like the kind of guy that's gonna, that's got, he's got jumper cables. He'll give you a jump. Brock Lesnar is the kind of guy that's like, well, why'd you let your car die in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
You're a moron. You ain't got time for that.
And Stone Cold too. He didn't care how big his opponent was. He was gonna get in the ring. He was gonna mix it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Brock, he tries to stay away from somebody that's bigger than him.
Yes.
One of my favorite dream matches or fantasy matches. I always wanted Goldberg versus Austin.
Oh,
Okay, I'll buy that.
Oh, that would right there. That would have to be the main event of any
We should have
wrestling.
talked about that last week.
Yeah,
That would have to been Stone Cold versus Goldberg. That would have to be the main event.
Yes.
the main event of a main event, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, if only,
How about that, babe?
Well, you make it sound it's not happening.
Goldberg. Oh, I would pay to watch that.
Exactly.
There'd be a lot
Good
of
money to watch.
I love
Yes,
many
yes.
people would.
Yeah, Goldberg was
I
my
like
favorite
Goldberg,
growing up.
and I like Stone Cold. So who would
Yeah.
you root for?
A good
Oh,
match.
Stone Cold too.
I read Goldberg's book. I have it. It's pretty good.
Oh.
But I think that's one of those ones where you're just rooting for a good match. Put on a show. Give me 25 minutes of just give me a good old, as JR might say, give me a good old fashioned slobber knocker.
You watch it for 25 minutes and both of them still standing up after, an automatic match, and both of them are still standing. Hey,
Yeah.
you got your money worth.
Absolutely. It'd be worth the $50.
They beat the snot out of each other. Both of them are still standing.
It'd be
Right.
worth the $50, man. It'd be worth the $50.
Well, everyone out there, the Elimination Chamber is on Saturday the 18th. Pay-per-view, I believe it's streaming on Peacock. So if you have Peacock, you can stream it on Peacock.
I'm gonna be right there in front of the TV with my chips, my iced tea, and my snuff.
Gerald, message me the results because I'm not going over anybody's house or anything. I'll be at a rugby game, so let me know what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be at USF's rugby match in Tampa on Saturday night. They kick off at 5, so I'm going to go over there, and I'm trying to get them back on the show. I
can't wait.
I'm sorry?
I said I can't wait for them to come back. I had a great time talking to them last time.
I'm working angles to get them on, and I have a friend of mine who I met. Her daughter rose for the University of Virginia. And
I was wondering whatever happened to her.
Yeah, I messaged her the other day, but I'm like, hey, you still want to have her on? I'm like, yeah, we never said no. I never said no. We could bring
We never
her
were
on.
able to set up the
I don't
time.
understand rugby. I don't understand how it's played. I don't understand how they score.
But it's 15s
It's
too,
so-
but it's not 7s. It's 15.
Oh, it's full. It's a full 15.
So it's full 15s. I asked them, I said, is it because they posted on their Instagram? I follow them, the rugby team on Instagram, and I asked him, I said, hey, is it 7s or 15s? He's like, in springtime, it's always 15s. He goes, in the fall, it's 7s. I'm like, oh, let me know when you play 7s because 7s are faster. 7s are half the players. It was a lot faster, but 15s. Yeah. The Rugby World Cup is coming up this year, so we'll be talking about that later on this year.
I love rugby.
I don't understand it. Somebody's gonna have to teach me.
We can give you the insight on how.
We can give you the inside track on that.
Now, rugby.
How do they score? How come they keep throwing the ball back and forth to each other like that?
Well, the difference between rugby and the NFL is you have to touch the ball down in the end zone in rugby. You can't just cross the line. You got to touch the ball down in the end zone. They don't. If you don't touch it down, there's no points.
And what's the score worth in rugby? 7 or what?
5.
5.
And their extra point is 2. So
that would make it an extra points.
Yeah, y'all gonna have to.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, the rugby. Once you start watching, it's really self-explanatory.
If we have one of the coaches on, and if I can get a player to come on, we'll have them explain to you how rugby works because they can explain it to you. But I mean, I find it fascinating. I think it's a fascinating sport. I fell in love with it after watching Invictus, so that's why I became a rugby fan.
I fell in love.
Do you think I can find any games on YouTube to watch?
Oh,
sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can. Yeah. All you have to do is Google All Blacks. It's New Zealand. Go just YouTube them or South Africa Rugby. One of the two. Those are the two powerful teams in the world.
England's
good. England's good. The Samoans are good. Africa. There's a lot of good countries out there that have good rugby teams. So, the Americans not so much. Not so
much. Americans go play American football.
We play football here. We don't play rugby.
Only thing we're good at doing is shooting down Chinese spy balloons.
Yeah, well, I guess I just read something about that. We fought off 4 Russian flyers over Alaska, but then they said no, it was a drill, and they're blowing things out of proportion. So who knows? I have no idea.
The Russians have been doing that for decades. It's international waters. They get as close to the border as they can legally, and then we go up and we escort them away. It's
happens all the time.
Standard. It's nothing to worry about. It happens all the time. We do it to them too.
It's just Russia testing our airspace.
We do it to the Russians too, and they don't know we're there.
Yeah, we do.
We do it to the Russians, and they've never detected us. So that's all you need to know.
It's kind of like playing tag with each other. Tag, you're it.
Yep.
We go over
there. We fly the 22s and the 35s into Russian airspace all the time. They never know. They have no idea we're there. We come home. It's not anything to worry about. It happens all the time. It's international espionage. It happens all the time.
Like I said, it's just playing tag with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We test them, they test us, and everybody goes home. Rugby's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I do not trust China. I do not trust China one bit.
No.
Well, China don't want the smoke. They don't want any of the smoke. China don't want that smoke. They don't want that smoke. Why do you think they haven't invaded Taiwan? Because China don't want that smoke.
No.
Because China knows that their economy will crater if they try to do anything stupid. Because we'll pull our manufacturing back. We'll move all our manufacturing to Mexico and Vietnam, and that'll be the end of it. So China don't want that smoke. So
exactly. But I need to
look at the Russian economy right now.
Rugby game. I'm going to sit down one of these days and watch a rugby game.
Yeah, definitely do
it. Rugby. Okay, and then the thing too, Gerald, is you can't throw the ball forward. You can only throw it backwards and sideways.
Or sideways. Yep.
Right.
Aussie rules football is really good too.
And yes. How long are their quarters?
15 minutes, I think.
I think it's 15 minutes. Yeah. Then they have a half. They have halftime like they do in football. But
so how many quarters?
They don't wear any pads outside of ankle support and That's it.
There's one player on the team that wears the
helmet.
yeah.
The rubber. It's a rubber helmet too. It's not even like
Yeah.
the old school football helmets. The leather helmet.
It looks like a leather helmet. Yeah.
Yep.
Only one player wears a leather helmet?
Correct.
And what does that player do?
Just he's
Forget what he's like the center. He's kind of like the snapper.
the match that I've been to during warm-ups, somebody broke their nose during warm-ups. And the kid came over to the sideline like this and went like that, cracked it back into place. Shoved up things up his nose, and by the time kickoff, he had pulled it all back out and he was out on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then some kid separated his shoulder. He landed awkwardly on his shoulder, went over to the sideline, and they snapped it back into place. Now, he couldn't go back out. The coach wouldn't let him go back out because his team they beat USF. So he's like, you're not going back out there. We're up by a lot of points. We're not losing the game. Don't worry about it. It's not worth it. But he was over there trying to take the freaking thing off his arm to go back out there. That's what rugby players are. Rugby and hockey players are about the same kind of blood. They're cut from the same school.
Well,
breaking his
nose. I think. Well, this is athletics, though. We can talk about any sport you want, and we can talk about the crazies that play it, because you got to be a little bit mental to play sports at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And look at Senior getting back in the car after breaking a collarbone. And God, he's all day. Ricky Rudd's got his eyes taped open. He taped his eyes open so he could go racing the 500. Eyes are swelled shut, the size of softballs. He's like, throw some tape on it and I'm going to go race.
Bush, he broke his ankle. He got back in the car after he healed up.
11 weeks. He was out for 11 weeks. I broke my foot. I broke a bone in my heel. I've never been the same. It's insane. It's insane what athletes will do to get back in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, we'll show you about rugby.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nothing about resetting bones. If it has anything to do with resetting bones, forget it.
They do it in rugby all the time. All the time.
Do it in all sports all the time.
Snap it back into place.
Uh-uh.
Put grass up their nose to stop the bleeding, because if you can't bleed on the field. So once you bleed, they either have to sub you out or you have to prove to the ref you can stop the blood. One of the two. That's your option. And rugby goes until either they score or the ball goes out of bounds or somebody dies. That's rugby.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the only time they ever stop the game. Somebody scores, the ball goes out of bounds, or somebody dies. That's how that's what they do.
That sounds like a hard contact sport right there.
Well, you can only tackle the guy that has the ball. You can only tackle the guy that has the ball. You can't blow somebody. You can block people, but you can't like blow somebody up out of the way. That you can't do that in rugby. So it's a different rule. Different world. Speaking of worlds, I thought it was a great football game on Sunday night. I really did.
Yeah, it was.
It was awesome.
I had the 3-point differential, just the wrong team and the wrong score. So
I had the 3 points myself. There was just like Brad. It was the wrong score, wrong team.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought you were on KC last week, Brad.
Huh?
I thought you picked KC.
No, I picked Philadelphia 37-34. And they lost 38-35. So I'm like, shit. Yep.
The 3 point difference, but not the right score.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the best Super Bowls of the century.
Wow.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I thought it was the best Super Bowl since 2014, New England, Seattle.
Yeah.
You don't think, Bud, that the San Francisco Chiefs Super Bowl wasn't that exciting?
I didn't say. I thought it was okay.
Okay.
But in terms of in the annals of the Super Bowl, I really got to put this one right up there as one of the best.
What about last year's Bengals?
I didn't even remember it. I'll be honest with you. I had to look up who played. I had to look up who played, and I couldn't remember the final. I mean, thinking back on it, was an okay, it was an okay game. But I like high scoring. Give me scoring all day.
Right. I mean, this was high scoring.
This was exactly what I want from a football game. I mean, you had great offensive plays.
Expected to go.
Well, the last boring one that I can remember was the final one that Tom was in a Patriot uniform.
Right.
Against the Rams. That was a boring Super Bowl. That was Jared Goff.
13-3. Dumb.
Yeah. That game was boring because it was a defensive game. There wasn't a lot of points scored.
It was an offensive struggle.
Yeah, I mean
the offensive struggle.
the game that he played as a Buck, they just blew Kansas City off the map.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
the Bucks defense had him running all over the place. So
it was I thought this was a great Super Bowl. This is everything I want in a football game. Back and forth all day long, scoring on both sides, great defense, great offense. Yeah. I mean, both teams played their guts out. It's one of those ones where you're sad somebody has to lose, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, it's too bad somebody's got to lose. Because both sides left everything out on the field. Couldn't ask for much more from a football game.
You know, but like I was saying on my show, though, I don't take nothing away from Jalen Hurts. He played great.
Oh, he played.
So did Mahomes.
I mean, Mahomes showed why he was the MVP.
Correct.
I mean, both the Super Bowl MVP and the league MVP. I was kind of wondering if this would be the first Super Bowl where the losing team won the MVP, because I thought you could make a strong case for Jalen Hurts to have been the MVP.
Yeah, it's happened before.
Has it really?
I think it has.
Well, I know there's been a player that's won a Conn Smythe in hockey that was on the losing team. I remember Devils Ducks. John Sebastian Jaguar won the Conn Smythe Trophy, not Martin Brodeur, and they booed him when he was announced. He was on the losing team. The Ducks lost the cup to the Devils that year, but they booed him. But yeah, correct.
What exactly. A scary.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Patrick Mahomes also win MVP of the game?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he won both this year.
So he's the only one. The last quarterback I've known to do that was Kurt Warner.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
The first time since what, 99?
Yeah, 98 or 99.
Greatest show on turf.
Yep.
Yeah.
Both quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks were excellent, though. I mean, the only thing I hated about this whole Super Bowl was that dumb, boring halftime show.
I didn't even watch. I don't like Rihanna's music.
She got made fun of a bunch. I don't think she cared.
Yeah, they memed the heck out of it. So
the best commercial out of this whole Super Bowl was that Tubi thing.
Yeah,
I thought the commercials were lackluster too.
I'm sitting there watching TV. All of a sudden, I see TV start doing all this crazy. First words out of my mouth was, I asked my wife, I said, "Honey, what are you doing?"
Oh, okay, I remember now. Yeah.
And she goes, "I'm not doing nothing." I said, "Well, the TV just changed itself." I'm sitting there thinking she did something.
Yep. Nope. That did it.
Yeah,
that was
a lot of people
set up.
See, I knew it was because I was watching on my phone because I don't have cable anymore. So because I got rid of it because YouTube gives me everything I want and more. So I just dropped cable, and I was watching my phone, so I knew it was commercial. So it didn't faze me at all because I didn't do anything to change the channel. You gotta if you want to change the channel on YouTube, you gotta actually want to change the channel on YouTube. So I knew it was commercial.
My wife. She had the Roku remote on her phone.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
And I thought,
so
I thought you were sitting there trying to watch something on the Roku channel and messed with it. So the first words out of my mouth is, "What are you doing?" She goes, "What?" Hey, I thought it was her because she likes to play jokes on me like that at times.
They're fixing to wad him up.
During a football game, I know better.
He knows better, especially if
No, wait,
it's got-
They ain't gonna make it back. Ooh, he saved it. What a save!
Speaking of the NFL,
Oh, you must be watching the Twins.
Yeah, it's the
How
second
you
one
watching if you don't have cable?
on YouTube. I told you
YouTube
that. I'm
TV.
watching on YouTube
YouTube
TV.
TV. I was going to say YouTube. I gotta get this.
I think
get
it's one of the
either YouTube-
hottest streaming services out there right now.
I
Yeah,
I
love
gotta get
YouTube
YouTube
TV.
TV or
How
Fubo.
much is it a month?
65.
How much?
65.
Do you get local?
Yep.
Get all your local
Yeah.
channels.
What about the sports channels?
All of them.
You can add ones that you don't have.
Yeah.
My boss
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
he's going from Hulu to YouTube TV. He actually showed me.
So how much we
I
paying?
can get either YouTube or Fubo.
70-something.
Now wait, can you buy this? Can you buy this anywhere? You have, or what are you gonna do?
You just go on the app, download the YouTube TV app, and
You're all
it
set.
works on your TV. It works on your Xbox. And like if you
Yeah,
have
but
a
you have
smart
to go.
TV, you
You have
can,
to go. I think you have to go buy it or something, don't you?
no.
If you have a Roku TV, you can. If you have a Roku TV or a Roku streaming device, you can get YouTube TV.
Correct.
Yeah, or on your phone, or on your laptop, or on your
So,
Xbox.
Do you have a Fire Stick? You have an Amazon Fire Stick? You can do it on there too.
Yeah,
I have a Fire Stick. So
you
that's
can
not
do it
big.
on.
tell me after the show.
You can
Yeah.
you can get it on any streaming
Yeah, it's good.
streaming stick you have. You can get it on Amazon Fire Stick. You can get it on Roku.
Yep.
Yeah, but you gotta go buy that. You gotta go buy that though, of course.
Yeah, you
Right.
Well, you could use it off your phone too, like Adam has.
I do it off my phone.
look.
Yeah.
I bought
Tell me
the
after the show.
streaming stick. Okay, it came with the remote, cable, and everything, and hook it up to your TV off of Amazon. Are you ready for this? I only paid $30 for that stick.
Yep.
And it's only about like that big.
Yep. They're not that big. It plugs right in the back of your TV, one of your HDMI ports.
Yep. You can get
Yeah,
Roku.
Microsoft see it though.
You can get Roku channels. You can get YouTube. Anything you want that's free, you can get it on Roku.
And
get
I love.
Well,
You can get Netflix
This,
if you want to pay for it. You can get that too. Yep.
just mention me after the show.
Yeah. I'll hit you up.
Anyway,
But I mean, Gerald's right.
Because I'm not going to sit here and pay $200 a month or $300 a month for cable
No.
when I can go get the Roku device, and hook that up and get YouTube TV, a Sling, which is the same thing you can watch on regular cable.
Sling is awful. Sling is boring.
Cheaper.
I mean, I don't watch a lot of TV anymore, so I only watch for sports.
Mm-hmm.
So it made no sense to pay $160 a month for TV that I only watched 6 channels on.
Right.
So I checked out the free trial for YouTube on a whim, and because they turned the cable off because I just wasn't paying for it anymore. So I checked out YouTube on a whim, and I fell in love with it. I'm like, $65 per month, and I get ESPN, Fox, CBS. I got channels that I didn't get on cable.
Oh.
And the only channels you don't get on cable are the premium sports, the network sports, like the NHL Network, MLB Network. Those are the only ones that you really don't get. You get NFL Network.
But you can get that on the streaming services.
And Lou, you could pay extra for those channels if you want. They're available on YouTube, or are they not?
I don't know about the NHL, but YouTube couldn't get a deal done with MLB.
Okay.
Because I
So they
know
dropped the MLB.
with Sling, the streaming service that I have, I got NFL Network, NFL Red Zone. I got all the NHL channels, all the MLB channels,
What?
Sling,
On Sling.
and I got all the ESPNs.
Yeah, but Sling.
Right.
I'm paying.
But also with Sling, I was paying almost $80 a month.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I like
Well, I'm
YouTube because I only
looking
pay
for
$65 a month.
I'm looking for something cheaper.
Yeah, that's why
but
I can't
the price, the less the quality though too.
the YouTube quality is just as good as your internet.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, you know,
So Adam, with YouTube, you get all the Fox Sports networks, like FS1, FS2.
Yep.
Do you get
Which I
USA?
actually didn't get ESPN FS2 with DirecTV.
I'm
I
going
get
to
I did.
see if there's a way that I can get it and try. And how long is the free trial?
2 weeks.
I thought it was 30 days.
Is it 30? I might be a month. I don't remember now. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's 30 days.
It varies.
I'm
It varies, I think.
I'm going to get it. I'm going to see if I can get the free trial.
And you're not locked into a contract either.
That's what I like.
YouTube TV.
Right.
That's the
With
same
YouTube
thing
TV, you're not locked into a contract, so you can cancel it if you're like, oh, I don't have $65 this month. You just go in and cancel it, and then when you got $65, you just reactivate it and pay the bill.
Mhm.
Away you go.
I'm definitely going to check into that free trial.
Hold
And
on. I'll be right back.
oh, what, you going to do it?
Yeah, I'm going to check into it right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
just,
wife.
I
uh,
absolutely
Just
adore
somebody,
it.
You already got my wife checking into it.
yeah, just message me after the show. Anyway,
I can do that.
Because if I can get the same sports channels that I did with the Sling for $15 cheaper, buy Sling.
yeah,
And you're not
'Cause I
locked
got-
into a
I gotta
contract.
Because right now with money being tight,
Oh,
I gotta
yeah,
go with the
definitely.
cheaper. I gotta go with the cheaper
Right.
plan.
And so you're like, and if you already have Netflix or Hulu or or any of the Disney Plus or ESPN Plus, like if you're already paying for that stuff anyway, you're not losing out on any content by dropping cable and picking up YouTube.
right.
So
See, and another thing too, the reason why I want to try to get this set up if I can, because NASCAR's coming back.
Yep.
There's going to be a lot of times where the races are going to be on FS1, FS2,
USA.
USA, and without having
Yeah.
Sling, I'm not going to be able to watch any of it. So that's why I'm trying to find something
An
that would be
alternative.
cheaper.
A more affordable alternative. Yep. If you sign up now, you'll get NFL ticket for.
Because if I signed up for it now,
Mhm.
I think my first month's bill would be due this time next month.
Correct.
I better do on the other one.
Did you hear that, honey?
What?
If we sign up for it now,
That's what I'm looking at. Hold on.
next month's bill would be due this time of the month. That would be perfect. Because we get our checks the first week of each month.
And then you'll have more money for snuff. You'll be all right.
Because almost $80 a month for streaming services, it's damn near killing us.
It's really not. And for me, like a guy that I don't watch a lot of, the only TV I watch is sports anymore, because network television doesn't do anything for me. It's all garbage.
And
And
see, that's the only reason why I had Sling was for the sports,
yeah,
for like football, the wrestling, and
Right.
NASCAR.
Football,
Right.
wrestling mixed together. Wow, that's gonna be rough.
Yeah, drivers out there wrestling each other while going around the track.
Yeah,
definitely.
he comes back to pass. Oh, he got hit by a rock. Oh, he's gonna feel that tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, only on Facebook will you find this type of comedy.
And
Yes.
the live show too, which is even worse.
Yes.
You put these three shows
Becomes
together
the pancake. Because
you get-
pancake. Oh,
together in one, we wouldn't be able to talk sports. We'd be laughing too hard.
right.
Well, I'm kind of hoping maybe come in a couple months from now in April we can do a live draft show together.
It's simulcast the draft, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
get Devin on here, and if Lou has anyone, have like a whole show just on draft night and sit and react
Absolutely.
to the first round of the draft, because I won't make it past round one. I'll be asleep
Right.
after the first round of the draft. But yeah,
How many times will
Thankful.
Goodell get voted this year?
If we can
Okay.
figure out how to get all three shows into one, that's
Yeah.
That's
Well, I
that's
mean,
gonna be-
if somebody,
that's gonna be a learning curve.
I mean, I'm going to work on trying to update mine. If I can update it, we can have 10 people on at one time. So I would just throw an invite out, and everybody would have to come on here or whatever.
I would like to
Yeah.
update mine, but as of right now, I don't have the $20 a month.
Yeah.
I feel you on that. 100%.
But now, will it come on where it come later down the road? I hope so. As soon as we get this network up and going, and people start hearing us, maybe they step and be like, "Hey, we want to help." It just depends,
Yeah. Hopefully that depends. Not that old.
huh?
Oh,
It
not
does.
that kind depends. You
Oh,
forget it.
Lou got that one. I knew exactly what he was talking about, too. I'm like, you got to wait for it. See if somebody gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam, you were right. It's $65 a month, and how many channels?
Oh my gosh, I'm going through them all now. I can.
Depends on your
There's like
Sweet.
What?
It's got the own channel.
Oh crap! You just sold my wife because she likes to own the own network,
that's what the Oprah.
and she loves that channel.
Oh.
There you go.
Created a monster.
Yes.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you very much.
Sold.
I aim to please.
Sold.
Yeah.
Now I got to deal with this monster.
Hey, it'll keep her quiet.
Yes.
Amen on that one.
Okay.
Now what you got to do? Now what you got to do is get her a pair of Bluetooth headphones. You won't have to listen to her ever again.
Yeah, there you go.
She's got headphones that plug into her phone.
There you go.
There you go. You're all set.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you can connect multiple devices. So through one account, I think it's up to 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Or
Only thing I would need it on is the TV and her phone.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be able. I don't have anyone else here, so I think you can watch up multiple programs at once. So should be good to go.
Because there's times
And
where,
with that,
especially during football season, I tell her there's a football game coming up. Oh God, where's my headphones? I look over and she's like, has the music on, sitting there playing her game. I go, you see that? Huh? And then she looked up and says, "What's the score?" Really, you want to know what the score is, but you're not watching the game.
Nothing. Who's winning? The
watch the
Bears.
game.
the Bears.
Oh, who's winning? the one that's ahead.
There's another good movie that gets put down a lot, but yeah, that was from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. If anyone out there doesn't know where that
Oh,
line.
sure.
But now when it comes to NASCAR, if there's a NASCAR race on, she's listening to the NASCAR race.
Sunday
Yeah.
cigar, right, bud?
Sunday.
But
Absolutely.
when it comes to football,
Yeah, absolutely.
forget
Absolutely.
it, her headphones are on, but when there's a NASCAR race on, she goes, "What, there's a race on?" And she's sitting there playing her game and listening to the race in the background. I'm like, really? You don't want to watch football? Listen to it,
Sound of the cars.
but you want to sit and listen to NASCAR.
Hey, we're talking sports and saving marriages around here.
Yep.
But that's what we do.
Exactly.
Not only do we give you good sports entertainment,
Oh.
we also give you good counseling advice and good laughs.
Yeah. We aim to
Yeah.
please around here.
Gerald.
We try.
What?
I said
Ah.
right from Gerald.
Oh God, you guys are
There's
fucking
another
difficult.
Oh, yeah. My side's hurting, y'all. Really, it is from laughing so much. Yeah, it is.
Well, with that, if you guys have anything else you want to close out the show with, the floor is yours.
Before I make up my will, because I don't know if I'm going to last the Enhanced Sports Show, boy. The Enhanced Sports Show, Saturday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. 3 to 5 in Gerald's area. Of course, we're gonna have our Super Bowl recap. We're gonna take a look at the NFL Hall of Fame inductees that I guess they got put in. We'll also cover the first week of the XFL. We'll also look at the NBA All-Star Weekend, of course. We'll talk about the new MLB rules for this coming year. I happen to like them. I don't think anybody else thinks, but I happen to like them. NHL, and of course any WWE or UFC news worth mentioning. So if you got time between 4 and 6 Saturday, 3 to 5 in Gerald's time, 11 p.m. in Australia or whatever that is, call 512-543-4662. I'll repeat that again, 512-543-4662. Thank you.
And make sure you bring your animal crackers because it's a zoo over there.
Exactly. I'm the head ringmaster.
Oh my goodness. Oh my.
Yeah, well, actually, it's funny that he brought up Australia. We have a guy that's in the group. His name is Gary, and he called the show one night and said, again, this is somebody from Australia. So he's like, "What's up, mate?" And I'm like, "I'm good." He goes, "It's already Friday here." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm talking to you from the future." And he was, because it's already Friday in Australia. So
I remember
like Friday
that,
afternoon in Australia already. It's like, oh my God. Okay.
It's like, how's the future?
Yeah.
Yeah, lose the head ringmaster, but he's got a few clowns on there.
Yes.
I didn't know you went on his show.
But as the song says,
now,
the show.
Now, wait a minute. I'm the head clown over there. Get this right now. I'm the head clown.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't want to do you any disservices there, sir.
Maybe you come on, Ab. You can join in on it.
I would, but I'm working. Unfortunately, I work a lot of Saturdays. So.
Call me Bozo. Just call me Bozo.
Yes.
At least he's not Pennywise. At least give him that credit. There you go.
I'll just call you it.
New TV series coming out soon.
I tried to watch that movie with Pennywise. I got through like the first 2 minutes of it, and I'm like, shut it down. It didn't make any sense.
I have the book. I haven't read any of it yet. I'm gonna read it. I got Stephen King's book. It's like this thick.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that thick. It's huge. Yeah.
You killed somebody with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Sir, you're being charged with homicide by book.
By book.
Look at that crook.
Oh. Sure, it was only Tolstoy. Yeah, you read it to him.
What was the deadly weapon? It was
by Stephen King.
It was a Stephen King book.
Yeah.
Oh,
which one?
They would look at the prosecutor like, "What have you been smoking?"
No, it's true.
Where can I get some?
Here's the murder weapon. Right there.
It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man.
Yeah. It was Stephen. It was Stephen King. He made me do it. I read his book. He made me do it. I didn't want Pennywise to die, you bastard.
God, thank you.
Yeah, you bastard. You
can't like your show yet.
But
oh my God.
What utter nonsense.
Anyway, guys, thank you. Thanks for anyone that is watching this show. We'll be on YouTube right after the show. But anyway, guys, thank you again. We love everybody that comes on the show. I'm still working on getting one more sponsor, and I'm trying to get guests here in the near future as well. I'm going to talk to the rugby team on Saturday. See if I can get them to come back on.
Baby steps, brother. Baby steps.
But it's been great. Thank you, guys. I was freaking out about my car. It's a minor thing. It can be fixed. It's nothing major. I got to get it fixed soon because it could be a major problem if it doesn't get fixed.
Yeah, at least it's not like a wife that wants everything every day.
I don't have one of those yet.
Somebody's going to die by homicide from book.
Womp womp.
She's going to get stabbed live on the air. We're going to be in court. They're going to be playing the show back on YouTube as the evidence of when he died.
I'm just saying, you guys.
And how?
And how, right, correct, and how he died.
We're gonna
Correct.
be material witnesses in a murder case. Great.
Yeah, they're gonna be using this video as evidence against me.
Correct. Yep. That's correct. Go through all of the past shows about how much he made fun of her, and then she just snapped and finally did him in. Snapped, and that's it. Me as Lou was doing the psycho thing in the background.
Yes. I can't resist.
Cut it! Cut it! Cut it!
We will be back. We will be back, guys, next week from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back on the show talking sports as we do every week. We love you guys. Everyone, stay safe out there. Shout out to our men and women of our armed services and our first responders. Thank you for doing what you do. We wouldn't be here without you guys, so thank you for that.
Uh-oh.
It's the time of the end of the show. But I'll see you guys next week. I am the Sportster Bradley Walker. The show is sponsored by CreatingZenSpaces.com and Garrett'sCarrots.com. Until then, guys, we will see you next week. Peace.
Good night.
Cut, Prince, send it. Come for the sports, stay for the nonsense.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only do you get a sports show, but